Episode 7 with founder and designer of Lily Ray Jewelry Company, Miss Angelica Aika Bondoc. Welcome everyone to this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host Chase Chewning, and this is EverForward Radio. Hey, welcome back everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode. I thought I would get back into the iTunes review of the week here with a great review from Sir Bomber Boys, who titled this review, More Than Just Your Regular Podcast. Not just your regular podcast. Chase Chewning has truly impressed me and excelled my expectations for podcasts in general. His way of communicating with his audience and extracting excellent information in just a little over 20 minutes sets the bar for podcast hosts everywhere. Subscribe and inform yourselves. You shall not be disappointed. Well, Sir Bomber Boys, I really appreciate the kind words. This week we are back with another great interview, so it's going to be a little bit longer than 20 minutes, but I still feel like we're going to be having some great, informative, and entertaining content. So this week's guest is Miss Aika. Her full name is actually Angelica Bondoc, but she goes by Aika. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Aika. Feel free to text me and let me know if I'm butchering your name. But I met Aika when May and I were actually back in Austin, Texas for Austin City Limits 2016. And she, I believe her and or one of her friends knew myself through YouTube. And she heard that we were in town, heard that we were at the same festival she was. And being a small business owner there in the area, she had some access to some areas of the festival that we did not. So she really welcomed us with open arms into her crew for the weekend. We met some great people, had a lot of fun learning and seeing more of the festival, kind of behind the scenes, backstage, and really doing some cool, fun stuff. So Aika, we really enjoyed our time there in Austin. Thank you for being a gracious host. And so when I was back in Texas in November, shortly after Austin City Limits with Nick and Preston Bear, I reached back out to Aika because I really thought that the part of her that I got to know, her story, her background, was kind of hard-hitting. And I know that she wasn't just someone who simply decided to start making jewelry or open up her own business. She actually had a pretty trying childhood and very unique story as to what brought her to that point and how she even started making this jewelry and how that turned into empowerment for not only herself, but those immediately around her. So in talking to Aika, you will learn how she started out in San Antonio, and more specifically, her time at a battered women's shelter, and how she really took a hard look around at her situation and put a much-needed positive spin on it. She started creating jewelry for those around her, but it really turned into a creation for herself and set her on her current path as a self-made woman, entrepreneur. She is now thriving and flourishing in Houston, Texas, and Lily Ray is definitely going to be a company to watch. So in listening to this interview, I highly encourage you to have an open mind, an open heart, open ears, because this is really much more than one entrepreneur's story, their origin, but really one of legacy, one of empowerment and positivity. So I give you all Miss Aika. Thank you so much for listening this week on EverForward Radio. Let's get started with the interview. Okay, so Aika, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm here in, where am I, Round Rock? Temple?
Round Rock.
I'm in Round Rock.
Round
and
Rock,
you're
Texas.
from Austin, right?
Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Yes.
So real quick, in about 20 seconds, tell me, who is Aika? What do you do? Keep it short and sweet.
I'm a jewelry designer,
Okay.
and I started my own business called Lily Ray Designs.
Okay. Where did Lily Ray come from? Where did the story behind the name, and how did you get started in jewelry design?
Okay, so the name is actually from my grandfather. His last name is Varay, so R-A-Y, the ending of his last name.
Okay.
And lilies were the flowers used at his funeral. So I put them together and it was Lily Ray. And how I started in jewelry design was when I was in high school. I started volunteering at the battered women's shelter in San Antonio. And I started noticing that when women from the shelter would go to job interviews, they lacked the confidence to go. And like they always had remarks about their appearance and things like that. And I thought to myself, what is a way I can help these women have confidence just a little bit? I mean, I wasn't good with makeup or any other thing. So I thought, I'll just make jewelry.
About what age was this? When was this?
I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at 16, you're already picking up on these behavior cues from other women that kind of, trying to better themselves and going out in the professional world. And you were already telling that, hey, they were having trouble, like there's certain barriers into getting jobs that they wanted or just following through. I mean, what was kind of like the big things that you're picking up on?
I was more picking up on the lack of confidence.
Okay.
Just because they were scared, they didn't think that they looked nice or anything.
So it was a physical appearance.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot going in. I mean, these are women that were going through tough times in their life. Like, they didn't have the income to really go and buy all these expensive jewelry or accessories.
Can you paint a picture of like what does the battered women's environment look like, just to kind of let everyone understand from where they're coming?
Really not sad. I would say that it's a lot of empowered women in there, just in tough situations. You have to also be really mentally strong to go and volunteer there, just because a lot of the things you hear and see are hurt women, like women that gone through pain and
with a name like Battered Women's Center, you have to assume there are going to be some battered women.
The worst in relationships also, and the place is very secretive. The address is not given just to anybody. You go to another location. The police escorts you to the shelter. Wow. It's a very protected shelter because from my experience there are a lot of crazy men out there.
I'm sure
women.
Discretion was very important. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when I went to volunteer, that was like one big thing. And then I started just making jewelry for them. And they were just simple, like earrings, necklaces, bracelets, whatever that can show to match whatever outfits that they were given. Because there was another business that donated clothes and things like that. So accessories was something I found rewarding and relaxing, just to give back to them. And then over time, a local jewelry designer noticed me. And she took me in and was like, okay, hey, Aika, let's take your talent to the next level. And so for 3 years, I did jewelry design for Kendra Scott. Okay. And then I quit my job about 9 months ago.
Working with them.
As
a designer, okay.
As a designer. Quit my job 9 months ago and bummed around for 2 weeks. Like literally had no job, no income, no nothing. Went back to my mom's, lived there, and then started making jewelry just because that was my passion. So I started making jewelry like out of the stuff I had already, and then sending it to my friends saying, hey, what do you think? And then they started sending it to people, and then my business grew from there.
So kind of that word of mouth just caught fire. Okay.
So it was kind of interesting. It's like a new world for me because I never in my life thought I would have a business. I always thought I'll just be a designer behind the scenes. That's my world. Like I love my privacy. I love just being
behind the curtain of just giving the designs and the ideas and then let someone else run with it. Okay.
So when Lily Ray started, it went from Venmo. So it was like that app.
Yeah.
People pay.
The new PayPal.
Yeah, the new PayPal. And girls started picking up my designs. They were like, okay, no, we love that necklace. We love that choker. So my first bestseller, and still my bestseller, is my Sam chokers. And literally every girl for 3 weeks bought it. And I saw
Is that what you're wearing now? Okay.
And so I saw my sales grow. And then I decided I'll just have a business.
Yeah.
And lost all my money overnight. Like
really?
Literally,
wow.
Chase, I'm not kidding you. I was searching for supplies where I got my original supplies at like 10 p.m. Bought like all the supplies needed because I had like a high demand for it. And by 2 a.m. of the same night, I lost about like $1,000, $2,000. And mind you, being a designer, you don't get a lot of money.
So when you say lost all your money, you mean like you sunk all your money into getting materials and supplies. Okay, so you went all in yourself, like just basically you invested in yourself. You invested in Lily Ray. Okay.
So all of that just boom. Like I didn't even have a business license or anything. So the next day I woke up and I went downtown, registered everything.
Downtown, you're still in San Antonio?
Downtown Austin.
Back in Austin, okay.
So just because I knew I wanted to be in Austin. San Antonio doesn't have the design market I needed, and Austin is a growing fashion industry.
Okay.
Has a growing fashion market on its own. We have like an amazing school here that's like great at
like a fashion design school. Okay.
Fashion merchandising. T is great for that. So I went downtown, lost more money registering. Like when you start something, you just lose money and don't see it for months. And I didn't see a return on anything till the third month in.
Okay.
And I lost like $2,000 on just a website alone. A lot of money went into it, but that's what it took to see it grow the way it did. Because we've only been running for 9 months, and we are in all boutiques in the state of Texas, a few in Oklahoma, Louisiana, California, Harrods, and Selfridges.
So Lily Ray's only been around for 9 months as of now. So we're in November 2016. You guys started, what's that, back February this year? Okay. So before then, it was just you, just doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And then February, Lily Ray started, and you've been running ever since here in Austin?
Yes.
Okay.
So I ran it for a month alone. Then I started getting a team.
Yeah.
So I have a COO, a CFO team, a marketing team, an IT team.
Those are some super official words. You got Lily Ray's legit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I have a whole team running.
Okay.
So now I employ about 79 people.
Okay.
So I have 79 employees, but they're friends and family. Well, friends.
What's it like been going from just you to having a staff pretty big for such a relatively new company in such a short amount of time? How's it been from kind of just you overseeing the day-to-day operations and design and sell and marketing and everything to now kind of giving that trust away to other people to kind of do that job?
It was tough. I never wanted to let it go. It was me and my COO, Taylor Wise. He's amazing. He was the one who was trying to convince me, just let this guy do it, let this girl do it. And I was just like, no, because it's your baby. Like something you make, something you create, it's your baby. So letting your baby go is like, no, don't
pushing the
go.
bird out of the nest and hoping it flies.
No, I don't want to be an empty nester here. Like, come home. So it was really tough, but rewarding at the same time because I'm seeing other people grow. I feel like Lily Ray, when you work for me or for us, it's not like work. It's more family, so you enjoy it.
And I can certainly attest to that because the first time we ever met was not too long ago, back at Austin City Limits. And she showed up with herself and this awesome just aura and like 3 to 4 other girls with you. And it was just like a family event. Yeah. And I was like, oh, who are your friends? Oh, these are, I mean, technically your employees in a sense. Yeah. But you never would have known. It was all just a group of people hanging out and having a good time. And so I think that family dynamic and that environment really shine through,
No, we're definitely a family, mostly all girls. We only have 2 guys working for us. Our IT team, they're all guys, but they're like really non-existent.
They're just there to balance out the lack of testosterone.
They're just there. They kind of like shy away half the time, but they exist. We're mostly a family, so I love having them work for me. It doesn't feel like a job. I mean, mind you, I'm only 24. Okay. So I like to have fun. Yeah. I don't like to be called like boss or anything like that.
Hashtag bossy pants.
No, right. No, they all have fun in it, and Lily Ray offers so much opportunity for everyone that's worked for us. Just because like we have a 19-year-old photographer that does all our ads, all our marketing, all our website pictures, all our modeling pictures, and she's using that as her portfolio. And her reach with every picture is nationwide because we're in all magazines. We recently just got Texas Living.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's big. That's big. Yeah, I used to live in San Antonio myself, and so I'm very familiar with that medium, and it definitely reaches a lot of people.
Yeah. So we just got Texas Living. We're in the UK. So this 19-year-old photographer, amazing. Yeah. All her pictures are seen nationwide, international almost.
That's such a wild position to be in. Almost like, I mean, you are running your job and your career, but you're also at the same time a springboard for other entrepreneurs and other people who are in your position, not too long ago. Yeah. And so what's it like to kind of do you ever actually have that I guess, awareness where, like, being a mentor for someone
Yes.
versus, being a job for someone?
Yes, I want it to be a mentor to
Yeah.
someone. I want them to feel like Lily Ray is something that they can feel a part of to help grow. Because I feel like if people are part of something that they believe in, that they can grow themselves, they will do whatever it takes for it to grow bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's where I got my team. I didn't interview them because of their skills. I interviewed each person that's worked for me on their passion level.
Okay.
So nothing on skill set. I didn't interview anybody on like where did you graduate, how long, because
what's your resume look like?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, basically on what your talent is, how well you're passionate about it, and how much you believe in Lily Ray. Because at the end of the day, you could have all the degrees in the world, all the experience in the world, but if you don't love what you're doing, if you're not passionate about what you believe in, then it's only going to go so long. It's only going to take you so far. So each person, each girl, each guy that's worked, they are doing something they love. It's not doing something they hate. Our CEO, Taylor, loves business, loves everything about it. So he has grown Lily Ray the way he wants to grow it. And
The way you want to grow it?
Yeah, the way I want to grow it. But each of them, like, I let them do what they want. Like, they have suggestions. Alicia, she's the one who does all our social media, and she's the one who kind of catapulted us to like the YouTube world. And she's loving it, but it's part of what she's learning because it's her degree and things like that. So.
Awesome. So I hear like family is like a big concept, and it seems like the environment, the work environment, is a family type environment. Has that always been something that you try to make important as far as like priority, or is it just kind of turned into that situation, or where does that family theme come from, for you?
It came from the fact that when I moved here to the U.S., it was only my mom and my brother. So we didn't.
You came from
Philippines.
Philippines, okay.
So I didn't have that whole big family dynamic. And so it's the one thing I've always wanted all my life is to have a huge family. And I had that in my past job. And I thought to myself, well, if this is something I'm going to do for the long haul, it's going to be a family dynamic. And so the pillars of Lily Ray is fashion, family, friendship, opportunities, chances, and charity. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But we do everything it takes for each one to be a priority. So family is a huge, huge priority. So we make everybody that we've met, anybody that's part of us, we will talk to you throughout the day through our Snapchat.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. You guys are very interactive, which is great. I think in this day and age, any new and upcoming business, you really have to be, because that's the on-demand kind of civilization that we've grown into. People want what they want when they want it, and they want to interact, through Twitter, Instagram, social media. So, you guys are definitely on all fronts, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, they love the Snapchats just because the girls that buy our product and the girls that follow us, they get excited when like someone from the team responds or you give them a lot of relationship advice.
Immediate feedback, absolutely.
I'm kind of known as the heartbreak queen of Texas.
Uh-oh. All right. You went there, so I'll expand upon it. What you're the heartbreak queen. What does that mean?
I started my business because I lost in a relationship. Like my ex broke up with me, and that's what made me move away from Austin.
Okay.
And that's what made me start Lily Ray. And he inspired me for a lot of my designs early on and still now. So the Sam choker is actually named and inspired by him.
You just said ex and inspired in the same sentence. Not many people can do that. That's impressive.
Yeah, he knows about it and everything like that. So a lot of girls, when I started my business, that's kind of like where everything fell. A lot of the interviews I did when everybody wanted to know where and what Lily Ray was, it was that story. That was like my branding story.
Okay.
A lot of businesses have their own branding story. Lily Ray.
That catalyst.
Yeah. Lily Ray's branding story was this heartbroken girl that started a business that's been pretty successful thus far. And a lot of girls inspire to like that and I guess look up to the fact it's relatable. Being heartbroken is relatable.
Everyone, I would say most everyone, has been through a heartbreak, a breakup, and whatever. So it's a very personable way to connect, with someone. So you definitely got that why taken care of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when I do a lot of the Snapchat takeovers or the Snapchat Q&As, it's always about relationships, always about like, what would you do? How did you do this? Do you still think of him? Like all this. And it helps with sales. A lot of people think, oh, being personal and giving your life out there is not something needed in business. But I feel like if I make my customers feel like they know everything and that they know what designs are where and how I'm selling everything and what I'm feeling, because they know that I design when I'm sad or when I'm like thinking of other people.
I think that's the basic definition of an artist. You know, you have something that happens or you experience something, and then the inspiration comes, the vision, and then so for you, instead of pen and paper or painting, it's just metalworking and, and jewelry creating.
Yeah, and I love it. And a lot of girls, they seem to like catch on to that.
Yeah.
It's like the Taylor Swift, but now it's like accessories. And
so if you have like, say you've got a girlfriend who just broke up with someone, is there like a breakup choker or a breakup bracelet?
Yes, I can make one like overnight. Like if you sit with me and you tell me what happened, I will think about you the whole night.
Yeah.
And I will make something. And it's not like I quest to go make something. Like if I can't sleep and all I can think about is you, then that's what I'm gonna make. And I'm gonna. It's just kind of weird.
Not weird. It comes back to what I've come to realize from a lot of people that I interview and talk to is these people have a really intricate way of combining their passion with a purpose. And you had that passion for a long time, it sounds like, you know, kind of connecting a story to a medium. And, you know, you've had that now applied to your purpose of jewelry design and kind of also, you know, passing the torch of you too can go through this experience and find a way to channel that bad experience, good experience, whatever it is. Because I'm sure you make jewelry that is I'm assuming, you know, it's something that can, you know, celebrate something.
Yes.
You know, in liberation of, not in, you know, R.I.P.
I know. It's like a story. My summer was really sad. My fall was like, oh, girlfriends. Now my winter is like, oh, she finally fell in love again. So each collection that I come out with has a story. And that's what I want to get out there to my customers and my girlfriends, is that you can go through something so tough and just show and share your story and like have them grow with you. So all my customers since day one, they've been purchasing jewelry and sharing and telling all their friends, and they've been following the story. They want me now to find a boyfriend. Like everyone's on this quest, like, okay, she's feeling better.
It is cuffing season, just about.
Yeah, right. So now it's like, okay, her winter collection, since there's a men's line, it's going to be a love story. You
do have a men's line coming out. Okay, talk to us a little more about that. How is that different from what you're doing for women's jewelry? What does the men's jewelry line look like?
Right now, my men's collection is going to be all beads, like all real stones, round beads. They're all bracelets thus far. I'm actually going to go to Boston in a few weeks to learn leather work. Oh, nice. So
actually, small world. I'm not really a big jewelry guy myself, but I just picked up a piece. I'm wearing a leather bracelet right now. The podcast, you can't see this, but I love leather goods. And so
it looks nice.
Keep me in mind. I'm not going through any heartbreak right now, but I still love a nice piece maybe.
I will. So I'm learning men's jewelry, but right now the men's collection, we're coming out with about 9 different pieces, and they're all bracelets, all real beads. So my product is all genuine real stones, real hardware, 18 karat gold, gunmetal, and sterling silver. So all the stones are real, and they're relatively priced very well for what they are. So for my men's collection, they're all real stones, round beads that you can pair up with watches, and we're actually partnering with Movement Watches.
Oh, nice.
To advertise my men's line.
I've got a couple of their watches as well. So, all right.
So
the universes are coming into alignment here.
It's kind of funny how everything's working out, because the moment I met Movement was also when I was like looking to expand my men's line. And it was just like, whoa, okay, well, Christian was wearing this beaded bracelet next to his watch, and I was just like, okay, you and I.
Referring to Christian Guzman.
Yeah.
Yeah. A big YouTube fitness guy who actually was our first interviewee.
Yes, he's awesome. So I met him a couple of weeks ago, and then we met again, and bracelets was just something he loved. He started wearing this one bracelet, and he was just like, okay, let's start a men's line.
So
he's like asking me for my men's line, and so I was like, okay, well, it's gonna.
And now it's in the process, and that's something that I think a lot of people don't always see. You know, they see when a new product comes out or a new idea, or you doing whatever you're doing. They don't see the timeline behind all that.
Oh, it takes a long time.
And I'm sure in design and just being an entrepreneur and just doing your own thing instead of sticking to any other outside guideline. There is so much behind the scenes that happens that people aren't aware of.
Yeah, that people don't see. It takes a while. Like for me to launch just my winter collection, I started 5 months ago.
Wow.
So the first 2 collections I did, it was overnight, just because I started Lily Ray overnight.
Yeah, literally.
So 9 months ago, literally when people ask me, it's overnight. I had no business plan, had nothing. So now I'm starting to do my summer collection. So it does take a long time.
Now you're starting your summer collection for next year?
Yeah, next year. So just the design part of it and the idea and things like that. But no, we're done with spring. We're done with winter. It's just waiting for launch dates. But when people think about business, I want them to know that it's not overnight, that it does take a while.
It takes hard work, people.
Yeah.
It takes hard work.
Hard work and sleepless nights and a lot of crying.
Yeah.
A lot of crying. I cry about like twice a week.
That's okay, me too. I'm probably one of the most emotional men I've ever met. My wife, May, tells me all the time that, the roles are totally reversed. Because she's like stern and cold and factual and like very logical and thinks with the brain. And I'm just like bleeding heart.
Sometimes that's good. I mean, that's how I am, and it's gotten me pretty far. Like a lot of crying helps. I do a lot of interviews crying.
Well, we'll keep you tear free this time. We'll keep it light. So you mentioned Christian Guzman and Movement, and I know that those were 2 big names that happened at a recent event up in New York, the YouTubers Retreat. And so I know that I see you crossing over a little bit more into that medium, with YouTube, which isn't quite up the Lily Ray alley, right? So what was that like, kind of stepping into that new market as far as presenting your product, presenting who you were to a group of people that aren't necessarily there for jewelry, so to speak, but they were there to kind of hear your story. So can you explain that experience and what that was like?
It was awesome. It was entirely new.
Yeah.
It was inspiring. I loved every minute of it. The only problem was I have a fear of public speaking. So when I spoke about entrepreneurship and being an entrepreneur, I stumbled and had like a lot of mistakes for the first 2 minutes as I got up there.
What do you mean by mistakes?
Stumbled, like I just couldn't speak.
Speaking, okay.
Yeah, okay. I just messed up a lot, and I asked Javon, who hosted the event, to get me out of there. But
so like mid speech, and you wanted to stop.
Yeah, I wanted to die.
So how did you continue on?
2 girls, Randy Fitness and Emily Fitness.
Right.
Emily and Randy, that's all I know them. They're great girls. They got up there with me and was like, you can do this.
Okay.
And that's what I love about girls, is that at the end of the day, even though sometimes we argue and we bicker, we will do whatever it takes. And that's what Lily Ray is all about. We are all about women empowerment. And that was the perfect way to showcase it. Because you could look at me and think, oh, I got everything going, like I can do it. But no, I'm like really weak and could not do a lot of stuff.
Wow, it's really open. Okay.
So when they got up there with me was when I got stronger, when I had like my friends there, when I had support finally. And it was a new environment, but totally welcoming. They loved hearing the idea of starting your own business from the ground up and not having like a social media following. Because at a YouTubers retreat, all of them are inspiring YouTubers. And a lot of them are inspiring YouTubers and entrepreneurs. But you could reverse it. You could be an inspiring entrepreneur first and then have a social media following. And that's how I did it. I wasn't first a business person to now having somewhat of a social media following. but always will be a business person. Will always stick with being business.
So always being in business, always being Lily Ray. What is so you kind of talked about what you have in the future for your next summer lines and what you're doing for design work for actual jewelry, but what does the future of Lily Ray look like? I know you said expanding into menswear or men's jewelry. What is kind of next evolution for Lily Ray?
We are expected to showcase at New York Fashion Week. So we
Really?
just grew our New York team.
Okay.
So I have a New York team now, which is awesome, and they're students from Fashion Institute of Technology and then a bunch of other PR students.
Okay.
And it's going to be great. So we're going to expand in New York, we're going to expand in Canada and in Mexico. And hopefully by the end of next year, we will be at Nordstrom's and Bloomingdale's.
Okay, those are some big names.
Yeah.
So what does that process look like? Is it just like meeting with buyers and?
Meeting with buyers and also proving that we can have the amount of units requested at the time they are requested.
Gotcha, okay.
So we have to fix the manufacturing. So all of Lily Ray jewelry is handmade here in the state of Texas. But since it is kind of growing, we're going to have to expand to another state. So we are moving to California.
As far as production?
Production for the manufacturing of our products. So everything is made in the USA, except we buy our products abroad. They're just handmade in the U.S.
Sourced elsewhere, but all created and designed here in the States. Okay.
Here. And as soon as we get that all squared off and prove that we can give the amount of units requested at the time they are requested, then it will settle all these other departments.
Okay. So say, God forbid, knock on wood, tomorrow all the jewelry is gone, but you still have, Lily Ray. You still have your entrepreneur spirit. Where do you go from there as far as still applying your passion to a different purpose?
If Lily Ray went away, I would probably go to Rompers. I'd probably go to Rompers.
So still in that kind of like the style design world, I guess.
Yes, I'll probably still stay in design, really stay within charity. It's my passion. I can't, like I said, when I quit my job, I only went 2 weeks with not doing anything. I had to go back. Because that's where I love it. And I feel like if anybody finds what they love and they know that they can, no matter what happens, even if you don't make money. And I didn't make money for months when I started Lily Ray.
Yeah.
Would you do this, like what you love to do, even if you didn't make money? And if that's a yes, then do it. Do it every single day. Have another job, but do what you love, even when you're not.
That side hustle. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that side hustle. Like if you're not making money, because eventually it will happen. Like I always believe that if you're doing something you love, there's a way you can make that into your living. And I feel like the people that see things just one way, you're just settling. So don't settle. Always believe like what you love to do, you can do it either way. Like if it's being a lawyer, more power to you. If it's lifting weights, more power to you. If it's, having a nightclub every night, like building a nightclub because you love to party, do it. Like people will go to your nightclubs. I mean,
people in nightclubs like to wear jewelry.
Yes, right? Call me. I will provide the jewelry.
This is the first time I've really talked with anyone thus far who isn't, applying a passion for, fitness and wellness and stuff into, whether it's YouTube or starting a gym or just, anything in that one particular avenue. But I thought after meeting you that you definitely had, like I said, that passion and then were able to apply it to a purpose.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people get caught up in, I'm really passionate about something, I really love this thing, but they don't know how to apply that. They don't know how to take what they love and turn it into something, tangible. And so I thought that was just something that obviously resonated with you. And so if anyone can take, a heartbreak and turn it into a best-selling choker necklace, then anyone else should be able to take what they've experienced and catapult them into doing what they love and really what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy road. Like, it may sound like you could just do it. You're definitely gonna hit a lot of tough days. Before I started getting into boutiques, every boutique in Austin shut their door to my face.
Really?
Every boutique.
How do you deal with that rejection?
It was painful.
Yeah.
I would cry almost every day because I didn't live in Austin when I started getting into boutiques. When I wanted to get into wholesale, I didn't live in Austin. So every day I drove an hour back to San Antonio. Wow. And so that drive home after getting rejected, I would always think like, I need to stop. I just need to go back to my job and sit there. But
what kept you from doing that? What kept you from not going back to the safe zone of, you know, that 9-to-5 world and just being able to go back the next day and get rejected? And, you know, sometimes I'm sure you made your way, got your foot in the door, but it sounds like for a while, it was just no thank you, no thank you, no thank you.
Yeah, no thank you, no response, ignored.
If they were even that polite.
Yeah,
just flat out no.
Exactly. I made a lot of mistakes in my relationship that I thought to myself, the way to better myself is to move forward and never give up. I gave up so quickly at what happened that if I gave up there, then I'm just going to let that mistake define me. I'm always going to quit because it's too hard or too painful to go through. Yeah. So I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to let my past define me, and I'm going to keep doing it till every single door literally shuts in my face in Texas. And it took one boutique, the last boutique in Austin that I went, to say, fine, we will buy 20 pieces. And they bought only 20 units. Yeah. And it was $100. Yeah, $100, 20 units. And they sold out in 2 days.
Really? Wow.
And when they sold out in 2 days, they came back for more. And then the girls at UT, since the boutique was so close to UT, started wearing it. And a lot of boutiques started asking about it. The boutiques that denied me started asking where... Catching word. Yeah, where is this choker from? Yeah. And they started coming to me. They started looking to me.
That's a flip.
And that was exactly a flip. Even though I was still searching for boutiques outside of Austin, I just thought, well, since every door shut there and only one boutique, and then eventually they all started coming back. But yeah, just never give up. So I just didn't let my past mistakes define me. So never let your past determine what you're going to do or what you're going to be. And that's a lot of the things I say to the people I mentor, to the people that work for me, is that no one's perfect. And if you've made a mistake in the past, if you've had so many horrible turns, you could always change it in one day. And so that's where the chances part come into Lily Ray. That even at work, when you are having a bad day, you're not feeling good, you're not doing well at your work, we're always going to give you a chance to do better tomorrow. Okay. Because your today doesn't determine how you're going to be tomorrow.
Very true. Yeah.
So that's how I kept my mind when I started going to boutiques. Was even if you shut the door in my face, you will still see an email next week.
That's really resilient. It takes a lot of gusto.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, I keep going back to, you know, you had something that you could fall back on. It sounded like you could go back to what you were doing before, but you really just decided to jump in head first, both feet in, and to just not go back. So I mean, that's really impressive.
No, I told myself like, not going back.
You might even say to go ever forward.
Yes, just keep moving.
Shameless plug.
Yes, it fits perfectly to this story. The EverForward like story fits perfectly to how I feel like I live my life.
Well, the moral of the story is, if you go through a bad breakup, buy a piece of Lily Ray jewelry.
It'll make you feel better.
It will change your world. Yeah. Well, again, Aika, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and just basically everywhere at Lily Ray, right? Which website?
ShopLilyRay.com.
ShopLilyRay.com. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll let you get out of here before Austin traffic gets super crazy. Yes. Thanks for coming in, and thank you for being a part of EverForward Radio.
Thank you. I had a good time.
And that concludes this week's interview with Aika from Lily Ray Design. Definitely a strong takeaway that no matter what we're going through, we have the choice to make it better. All we have to do is to decide and take action. My hope is that you can take this message, apply it, and live your life ever forward.